Okay, we're just getting this live stream started. Just gonna make sure that things are running good. Bear with me 1 second here. Why is this not showing up? There it is. Okay, so we got 10 people in here. Okay. All right. So this thing's going good. All right, so welcome to the live stream, everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and bear with me, share my screen real quick. So I have with me Marcos and Crypto Airborne that will be joining us tonight. And I thought it would be kind of fun to just kind of talk the crypto market right now. It's kind of dicey and stuff like that. But how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good. It's doing a little bit better today, at least the last hour or so. Bitcoin looks like it's at like 49.2, I think last I checked. 49.1.
Yeah, that's what I'm clocking right now too. What's good with you, Marcos? Thanks for coming on, bud.
How you doing, man? Always glad to mingle with you guys, man, and to do it live. It's awesome, man. I appreciate you having me here on your channel. Appreciate that very much.
Yeah, definitely. No, we'll definitely if I don't know if you want to talk about maybe a little later on some of that mining stuff that you've been kind of filling me in on the side. You got some cool ventures. I think a lot of people would just really enjoy that.
Awesome, man.
Just looking here.
Yeah, if we talk mining stuff, I got 2 new sites that I've discovered that I think a lot of people would benefit from based off mining pools. So it
Really?
kind of like, yeah, it's actually really good. I don't know. I'll talk about it probably sometime later tonight, but it tells you like all the mining pools and what profit. So you can pick the best one so you get the most profit based off that.
Yes.
And then another new website that Voscoin, I think they reached out to him where you can get additional mining rigs, but like the KD box right now, they have it right now. You can buy it. But of course, guess what? They jack the prices up. Like you can get a lot of them actually. It's like a couple thousand more. It's ridiculous, but if you really, really want it, you can get it because they're really hard to find and it's legit. But I can talk mining stuff later.
We're getting a little bit of feedback. Let's see here. Oh no, there we go. It sounds better now. But I'm gonna go ahead and steal one out of your page, Crypto Airborne. And
What?
that is the crypto bubbles. I watched your video today.
I could do a market overview. I've got it all set up.
Do
If
it.
you want me just
Do
to
you?
do it. Yeah.
I'm
I was ready. I thought you were like, well, people
shit.
feed in. I'll do it right now.
I'm gonna let the professional handle this then. Share your screen and make sure you
stream, but let me share the right screen. I don't want to share my other screen.
Yeah, because there's probably crazy stuff going on.
So rash cream in bulk.
There might be bulk order from China.
Yeah. Screw crypto miners. We're talking rash cream tonight, baby.
Oh, gosh. All right. Can you see it? I'm not used to like this. Okay. All right. So let me just refresh this. So I always use Coinbase pricing. It's just what I always do. But market is doing pretty well. It's up 4.05%. Bitcoin is 49.4. Is that accurate right now? I know this is probably a little off, but
I'm clocking 49.46.
So it must be pumping right now is what it looks like, which is good. ETH is pumping right now, up 3.68%, 4,069. Solana has been doing pretty well, up 6.3%, $181. Cardano, I think we might have, if we do that tonight, I'm curious to see. I think we might have broke the channel. I think there was like a descending triangle or something we just broke out of, but that's up 5.31%, sitting at $1.30. Gainers, let's see their top gainers we got. Jasmy, I always see that on here. This thing is always like up and down drastically, but it's up 40.76%. It's at about 9 cents. Ren's up. Spell token, probably a gaming token, obviously up 27%. And then some of these ones I've never even heard of. Ribbon Finance, Parabolic came back down, up 21%. Request, everything. So it seems like the market's pumping right now. Losers, though, we did have some, but not many today. Circuits of Value, never even heard of that. Down about 8%. Monero's down 5%. You're in finance. I know that's been on a big uptrend lately, but we're down 3.77%. But overall, not much down. Everything's pretty much been up for the day. National days. I know I do this on my channel, but I do want to talk about this real quick. National Coquito Day. So it's a Puerto Rican drink, and I had this down in Florida when I worked at Amazon. There was a lot of Hispanic people down there that worked at the warehouse and whatnot. And one of our, I think she was a shift assistant or something. She's like, "Hey, Crypto Airborne," well, my real name or whatever. She's like, "Hey, you gotta come after work and try this drink." I was like, "What?" She's like, "Oh, it's Coquito." So it's kind of like a rum chata, like rum drink, and it was good. So I don't know. Have you guys ever had Coquito or ever heard about it? But it surprised me today when I did my video. I was like, "Oh wow, I actually had that."
Never. I've never heard of it. But I'll say my favorite drink down in Florida is probably the Blue Hawaiian. I drank a lot of those on the beach.
The blue what?
The Blue Hawaiian?
Is that like
It's,
blue Caraco sweet drink?
I have no idea.
Probably some fruity drink. No, I don't know. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going on today. As we're heading towards Christmas and whatnot. Humbug Day, bunch of just random stuff nobody really cares about. Crypto bubbles. I love this.
There we
I
go.
love using this for visual. And like I said in some of my videos, they definitely added a bunch of stuff. So you can look all the way up to the top 1,000th coin, and they even break it down to certain exchanges. So if you want to see like what coins are doing well on these exchanges or whatever, you can just click it like Coinbase. They've got a ton of tokens. So they're Jasmy, obviously. That's where I've heard about it because I do it all the time. Is up 42%. But top 100, yeah, everything's looking green right now. This RNDR, though, render token, have you guys ever heard of that one? That's crushing it right now, up 36%. I've never heard of that.
Wow.
KDA's coming back up. Kadena.
Nice.
Man, that was...
I don't know how that's pumping, man. I wish I would have gotten those KDA boxes or the KD boxes. Did you ever see any of those, Marcos, on Gold Shell's website?
Yeah, I mean, by the time I log on, I mean, those are long gone within minutes.
Yeah.
Long gone. And I think most recently they started doing like a code, right? Or like a code, right, to have access to it. But I mean, every time you log on, I mean, they are sold out in minutes.
And it still crashes the site. That was the biggest.
Dude.
They have the feedback on there. I think they did a tweet about it, and I gave them that feedback. It's just, and Marcos, I see you tweet on there. It's like, get a website that like doesn't crash.
It's annoying, man.
It's
It
literally
really
the
is.
biggest. It's the biggest annoyance because you can't really get them anywhere else, like a legit place. But I forget like who hosts, what servers they use. What is it called? It's real common. Winix, I want to say, or not Winix.
Linux?
I don't know, but they just need to upgrade their servers because it's like the biggest complaint. But anyway, that's Kadena. And real quick, you can get Kadena KD box right here for $8,700. It's not sold out, and this is the website I'm going to talk about. You can get so you can buy for $13,200 right now, not sold out. But if you guys want a KD box, check out miningsyndicate.com right now.
I wonder if they'd let me list some of my CK boxes for like $5,000 and just see if they. I mean, I'd consider that.
Yeah. Our favorite tokens, coins. This is all the stuff that have invested in at one point. Some of them I'm out, but these are the main ones that I look at. Siacoin is doing pretty well. I'm mining that right here behind me. Well, one of them. The other two are upstairs. That's all over the place. Like
it really is.
The profitability hourly is just crazy. But 0.0161.
Are you mining that yet, Marcos?
I sure am. I'm using my HS boxes for Siacoin.
Nice.
2 boxes currently, and I've seen the numbers dwindle a bit, but I think I'm at about maybe 160 to 170 a day on both boxes. I guess that's about right?
Yeah, I've been averaging about anywhere from like 80 to 105. It's just like every hour I'm either getting like 1 or 10 coins. It's like crazy how erratic it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys, Airborne, you're mining that too, right?
Yeah, I got 3 of them. Let me see if I have. I'll show you guys. I don't really care. I'm not really hiding anything from anybody. I'm very transparent, like I said. Let me just see. But like I said, I have the painters have been here throughout the whole day. Like they just painted this
Nice.
area of my basement, so I've had to, they put plastic over my miners, so I haven't run them for like the last 2 days, at least the ones down here. So the profitability's it's been a little weird the last 2 days. But let me just see profits.
Tell you
So
what, there's nothing like running the miners in mom's basement.
yeah, I know. But I've I've been paid out about 4,600 Saya coin.
Nice.
Right now I have 430. Obviously, DX pool doesn't send you out because the bare minimum is 1,000 Saya coin or whatever to your wallet, which I have linked to crypto.com app. But just check these hourly stats at least.
Man. Nuts.
It's like all over the place. And the daily you can see obviously minus these 2 days, but it was good from like the 6th of December. I was getting 333 a day on my 3 miners.
Damn,
that I have,
that's
but
good.
It's just consistently going down.
Well, that's like my CKB boxes. I mean, with 6 of those, I was clearing like 850 a day. Now it's down to like 650 ish a day. It's like
I have 5 CK boxes right now. Do I have? I don't even know. 3? Yeah, I have 5. So my consistent daily CKB, I'm doing like, let me see. I started out on the 26th, 664 I was doing, but look, it just keeps trending downward, my profits. And then
sucks.
Minus these 2 days, but yeah, I don't want to pay into the hourly because I had to shut them off or whatever. But is that how you guys have been seeing them pretty much? Like just slow downward trend? I mean, more people are probably coming on.
Past week and a half. And I don't know if you notice also on the when you're mining Saya coin, sometimes the boxes go offline, but when you look at the boxes, they're still going green. So I don't know if it's like a glitch. Yeah.
I've never had that. Unless they are going
It happens for about 20 minutes at a time, 20, 25 minutes at a time, but it's still mining the same way. So I'd assume it's some type of glitch or something on the DX pool.
That makes me wonder if we should switch these over to F2 or one of those other alternative pools.
Yeah. I mean, if we're still talking about mining, or you want me to go back to this?
Let's check it out since we're on topic. Yeah.
So
I'm interested.
This is called miningpoolstats.stream, and it has every coin that you guys can or that you mine, and it breaks it down by pools just so you can pick like the best mining pool for the most profit. So if we go down to CKB, Nervos Network right here. So here's all the pools right now currently, at least that this site lists. There's 9 pools that mine Nervos. DX pool is what we use. And it tells you that the pool fee is 1%. So that's not too bad, but it tells you how many miners are in this pool, and like the average hash rate, the network hash rate, how many blocks, and like it just has all the stats here. So it looks like everyone's pool fee is about 1% anyway. So it doesn't really look. But then you look at the hash rates though. So like, what about ftpool.com? Would it be better, you think, to move?
Yeah, they're pulling in pentahash, so I mean that's probably really banging. I mean,
yeah,
there's a big gap there between F2 and DX for sure. I mean, that's
there's a lot of different. I just literally started looking at this site, so I'm not too familiar with it. Just like you guys have just probably first started seeing this, but Saya coin I thought was pretty interesting. They just added the one with the recent firmware update Gold Shell did. Which one was that? Was that Luxor?
That must be. And it looks like 2% fee. Okay.
So it's 1% less.
Oh, is it? Yeah. I mean, damn, that really, I mean, over a long period of time, that's
But the hash rate is less. So I don't know if that has an effect with the 1% drop or whatever, like if you'll end up getting more mining profits.
I'd like that minimum pay feature of 100 versus the 1,000 though, because I'm running one little tiny HS box, and I just got a notification tonight. 1,010 Saya coin was transferred to you. I'm like, oh gosh,
Yep.
It takes
Yeah,
11 days.
Yeah, but I just want to share this with you guys. I saw this tonight. I mean, I saw it on Voscoin's recent video. Dude, I wish I would have gotten into his YouTube channel like years ago. Like I was following him, but like I never got into mining until you started doing it, and now I'm like I love it. Like I'm really into it now. But yeah, it's just finding little things like this every now and then. I think just like it's good to add to your kit bag.
Yeah. I think like the biggest thing too for a lot of people, and myself included, was the fact that, okay, buying all this equipment, putting it all together, figuring out the software, it was kind of scary. And now
Yeah.
that Gold Shell has really made these dumbed down units that you can just plug and play, makes it a lot easier. But I agree with you. I remember when Voscoin was under 100,000 subs, and I'd watch his videos, and I was always interested in what he was doing, but I was like, man, this is way too, out of my league. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to have these, miners, I don't know, causing huge power bills. And like at the time, you think of, like, I just got my power bill. It was $330. And and so,
wow.
it was a good chunk, but you
Yeah.
got to figure, I've made quite a bit of CKB and stuff like that. I don't know, Marcos, have you gotten any power bills yet?
I have, and so on the $5 boxes that I'm running, I've seen about a maybe $60, $65 increase per month on my light bill. However, with the light bill plan that I have, I pay no electricity Friday after 8 p.m. through Sunday midnight. So I've got that going for me.
Damn, that's really nice, dude. You're in like a miner's paradise right now.
Oh, most
For
definitely.
sure.
So like Friday after 8 o'clock, it's like that's when I wash out my laundry. I drop the AC temp. Like my weekends are bomb, dude.
Oh, dude,
Wow.
that's sick. You should, like, what you should do is just host Bitcoin miners for the weekend. Just have about 50 of those things in your place running.
Yeah.
I
Free
get a little email
electricity,
by the
baby.
light company.
But the other thing is like look at like this is asicminervalue.com. The profitability right now on one CK box is 92 cents a day.
Yuck.
So like if people are looking into this, they're like, dude, why the heck would I get into this right now at 90? Like I'm making 92 cents a day on one CK box when they cost $800.
Let's
So it's
cross check that though. I want to just cross check that. You can
but
continue, but I'm just gonna.
yeah, you could take this with a grain of salt too.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it depends. I mean, you this website is, I don't know, it's hit or miss, asicminervalue.com, but you can at the bottom down here put in your electricity costs down to the kilowatt hour. So depending on where you are, like if you're in Texas where it's super cheap electricity, or Florida, whatever, I honestly don't even know off the top of my head what it is here in New Jersey. I know it's expensive. So you can mess with the numbers here and that'll adjust the profitability. So like let's say, I don't know, Marcos, do you know what your electricity cost is kilowatt hour?
Yeah. So I think we're at, man, my wife's the one that handles all of this, but
Yeah.
I think we're between 8 and 9 cents. I think it's 8 and 9 cents per kilowatt or something like that.
It's pretty
So it's average, but again, the trade off I have with the light bill is the free weekend, so it kind of just
good.
balances out. Yeah, so I'll keep the AC temper on 73, and then of course weekends I drop it down to 70, and that's when I'm like most. It's the most savvy decision I've made, right? Is to have a miners at home having a free weekend plan on electricity, man. So it's always that alone kind of gives me something to look forward to on the weekends in the weird way.
Yeah,
that's insane.
That's really nice. Hey, Airborne, why don't you go in down to the bottom there and type in 0 for the electricity costs? Let's see what these things are pulling in. If you got on the weekend,
1 cent, I guess you got to put.
Yeah, see, that bumps that up quite nicely.
Buck
So
50.
what do they say electricity cost is at 0.12? Because that's what I'm at right now, at 0.12. And I want to start some industrial commercial crypto miner operations in a city a couple hundred miles away, and it's 0.09. So 62 cents electricity. Okay, so right now a CK box for me minus 0.67 is pulling in $1.57 a day. Terrible.
Yeah.
But once CKB kind of rebounds and heads back up, 3-4 cents a day, we're going to start seeing these profits go up. Kind of what happened with KDA,
Like
Cadena.
November 9th, we're making $4 a day. 5 boxes make about $20 a day passive income. Imagine if the price goes up to 10 cents, 15 cents. You got to think long term, I think.
Yes.
My mindset. I don't really care. I'm making nothing. These just run in my basement, and I just forget about it sometimes.
Me too. Yeah, same.
Same thing with Yokai swap. I keep forgetting I have my stuff staked. I don't even know what I'm at, but that's doing pretty good.
Did you guys, Marcos? Are you still in Yokai? I know you were kind of messing with that.
I sure am. Matter of fact, I've probably gained close to 800 yokai just allowing the stake. I think I'm probably close to 1,000 plus yokai on those awesome stake returns at the moment. So that's one of my like set it and forget it, and I'll check. I'll check that, or I'll start paying more attention to price action like quarter 1 of quarter 2 of next year.
Nice. Yeah.
So I've earned about 70 yak, $21. Completely forgot about that, which is
Nice.
like equivalent to what a CKB box is making right now per day, probably if you do the math. I only put I barely put anything into this. I couldn't imagine if I put thousands of dollars into this right now. And we're making 1,360% APY.
Right when Yokai first launched, I put like 1250 in there.
Mm-hmm.
And like, man, I was just hammering the site trying to buy in because it was all bogged down. And like I got in, and like a couple hours later, man, I was up like $1,000, and $1,000 profit. You can't hate somebody for taking that and just letting the rest ride.
Yeah.
But I see the APY is kind of dropping a little bit. I remember when that was at like 8,000%.
Yeah.
Like, that was damn nice. I mean, still, how can you complain with 1,360? Like,
Is it still glitchy and stuff? I seriously haven't been messing around with this. I know people were having issues with it. I think Strika, you're in the chat. You were having issues.
he's
I know
in
you
there.
made a tweet about the issues. I don't know what people were saying. You had to something was stuck and you had to refresh or do something.
Yeah, there was some people that were having some issues with that for sure. And I don't know if it was browser related or what, but yeah, Falioni, big shout out to you. We were playing Onward last week.
I think you have a bounty up there.
Oh yeah, grab that, Airborne.
Grab that bounty.
That.
Good eye.
I don't know what that is.
It's free money.
Yeah, 12 cents. Thank you, Marco.
I got like a $6 one or something.
I saw that pop up one time before, and then I stared at it, and then it disappeared.
Yeah, you got to grab that.
What is that?
It helps out the pool. There's a whole there you go. If you read that, it'll let you know what it does.
Whenever you successfully claim the bounty, you're also helping out activating the auto yak pool's compounding function. Oh, can you auto do it? Do I need to click? No, it's already on auto.
Yeah.
No, that's for the stake, I think.
Oh. See, I don't know.
Oh, Strikers says his IP was banned for too much refreshing. So trying to get his hands on that medicated rash cream, refreshing that browser. Just kidding. But yeah, big shout out. That was fun, Marcos. I'm looking forward to you getting in Oculus, man. Because we were on here playing with Clay, and that was fun.
Yeah.
We got into some shootouts, and it was like, and then we all got kind of disconnected. It sucked at the end, but man, the time we did spend in VR was freaking amazing.
Did you get one yet?
Not yet. That's probably going to be like a next year purchase, or maybe January, because we're recovering from the Christmas expenses.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's me setting more money aside for more boxes, and eventually I already have CK5 funding already, so I'm working at another one at the moment. So
What
Did you
about
get? Did you
this
guys see that CK6 coming
6?
out?
God, you read my mind, man. That's what I was going to
was
say
Dude.
just
next.
gonna ask.
Yeah, let's pull up some. I saw something that Gold Shell put out, and they had like the KD6, the CK6, and the what was the other one? There was another one. Maybe it was an HS6. But
Yep. Gold Shell announced the plan about their 6 series miners.
okay, nice.
Boss Coin, I guess, attended it. New generation specifics show the miner's efficiency is more efficient. The R&D teams upgraded and optimized the miner internal structure, so greatly improved 20% power consumption. The new miner not only will use less electricity, also provides much more hash rate per kilowatt hour. The
Oh,
heatsink
wow.
structure has been optimized, designed to get better efficiency of heat dissipation to create a better mining system. So here's your parameters right here. CK.
Oh, they've got they've got the Litecoin Dogecoin miner down there.
Mm.
Nice. KD6. Okay, Blake 2S. That's the same algorithm that I believe Siacoin is on?
Blake 2.
Yeah,
Or
they're on looking
Handshake?
at Blake to us.
Yeah. I wonder if there'd be a way we could hack our HS boxes
Yeah.
to mine KD. That's
There's
something
got
to
to be a
think
way.
about.
Hey, if
Hit
any
us
guys
up,
watching
hackers.
this know how to do that, or if you guys are any computer like engineers or something with firmware, and there's got to be a way. I don't know. That's
I
way
mean,
beyond
hey,
my level of competence.
no, I just buy the stuff and plug it in
Yeah.
for sure.
Visible improvements, obvious advantage, excellent service. Besides their site crashing whenever they do a restock launch.
Well, I mean, damn, that power company would love Marcos if he brought on board some of these more energy efficient miners that were sucking up all the electricity on the weekends for sure.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'll
a
bring
sweet
my
deal.
CK5 home for the weekend, huh?
Just
But
just get a big storage unit outside your apartment or your house and just run a bunch of extension cords out your like windows to the little
Be real
storage
casual
unit.
with the neighbors. Hey, nothing to see here, guys.
Sorry, it's gonna sound like jet engines for the next 2 days. No, that's cool. I you know what? As much as people hate on Gold Shelf for raising the prices and stuff like that, if you believed in them early on, like we all kind of did, got their products before the prices really ran up. I mean, you can't. I'm really a big fan of their stuff. Not these current prices, but just what they had. Those KD boxes, I remember when those were 700, 800 bucks.
Yep.
Too.
Me too. I think I remember like either texting you or talking to you on the phone or something. And
Yeah,
like
that's
when I
right.
first started, I was like, oh, what about this KD box or this HS box or LB? Like I didn't know anything. Like only if we could always all go back in time and like
Dude,
buy like
hindsight's
5 of those. Like
yep. Hindsight's a wicked thing.
yeah.
So, Ifaloni, excuse me if I'm not pronouncing your name right. I'm just gonna call you Clay. I'm down for another round tonight. Oh man, I don't know if that's gonna happen because my Oculus has been out of batteries since like last weekend. So,
What do you
but
mean
yeah,
batteries? Just charge it up. Or your
I
hand
know. I just
controllers.
dude. I've been so busy. I mounted. I'll talk about the studio in a little bit, but I've been so freaking busy with that.
Yeah.
Got
Plug
a
it in right now.
new. I might after the live stream.
But yeah, I don't know. That's all I have. There was
Nice.
an NFT thing I wanted to talk about that I did, but I don't know if we're gonna get into NFTs. That's completely changing the subject.
Well, let's get into that because I do have a little subject that might kind of play into that on the tail end.
All right, so let's see. So I did a video with one of the community managers from Platypunks, Pepe Stallone. If you guys follow me, you're probably familiar with him. He's a VGX hero. He's a part of VGX hero community, but he's also a community manager. So he literally, I think he runs like the whole Platypunk Discord here or whatever. And we did a video before the launch of this talking about it or whatever. So Platypunks is launching a companion collection called the Platy Doodles. So if you guys are familiar with the Doodle collection on OpenSea, or you guys heard of Doodles, they're pretty popular. Let me just look real quick. I think they're like top 10 or whatever, but it's kind of like a spin-off of it, but with the Platypunks as it, like original artwork. They've been in the making, I guess, for like months now and whatnot.
I saw your video and they got that huge shout out from like Bloomberg and all that. So
Yeah.
they're pretty well established.
So it's I wouldn't say a knockoff, but like they kind of go for this look because the Platypunks original artwork is like the pixelated look, kind of like the punks or whatever. So they just recently launched this for Platypunk holders. So let me just go over that real quick. Platy announcements.
So do you have any Platy NFTs?
Yeah, so I have 2 of them. So I was able to get in on the mint date for the holders. So if you're a holder of one of the Platypunks, you have until I think the 23rd. Well, it's open right now. So 12/20 at 6 p.m. you're able to start minting them, and then the mint date, if you're not a holder, is December 23rd at 6 p.m. So if you're a holder of a Platypunk, it's only 0.01 ETH, and if you're a non-Platy holder, it's 0.05 ETH. So what you'll do is you'll go to their Platy Doodle website here. You'll connect your wallet, and then you can just mint however many you want. I think there's a limit. I don't know off the top of my head. I minted 5 of them, Platy Doodles, and then once they go public, then they'll come out with like the rarity and whatnot and all that. But they look pretty cool. I mean, they're kind of like the Doodles, and it has a great community. But yeah, I just want to talk about that real quick. I was on their Discord. I said, hey, I'm hopping on the live stream. I'll talk about it real quick. But yeah, definitely check it out if you guys are into NFTs. It's a great community. How many? Let me see how many they've already minted. Because usually, I guess I got to connect my wallet. I hope it doesn't dox my crap. Hold up, let me just switch it over here. It's going to show how much I have in there. Because I have to switch it back from, what was it, Godspoken or Godwoken?
Godwoken, yeah.
Yeah. Now it won't even let me.
I like Godspoken. That'd be a neat name for like a subgroup of Godwoken.
Yeah.
Godspoken.
All right.
There you go.
Did it just pop up?
Yeah, I saw everything. Dude.
Did it really?
I didn't notice anything.
Okay, popped up on, because I have 2 screens, and sometimes when you pop up the MetaMask, it'll pop up on the screen I'm sharing compared to the one that I don't want you to see. But I don't really care if you guys saw it. But anyway, they have 294 minted for like the holders of Platypunks right now, and there's only 3,562 of them.
That's pretty cool.
And they have a lot in store from what I hear, like with big influencers that are going to be kind of pushing this. I don't know, pre-launch, like for public or afterwards, but there's a whole channel within their Discord where they're looking for like Crypto Wendy. They were talking about like sharing this. So this Platy Doodle might blow up.
That's cool.
I don't know, not financial advice, but I just want to share that with you guys.
Yeah, I might have you I might have you pick me up a couple of those since you can get them cheaper.
I don't care. It's just the gas fees, dude. That's what sucks.
Yeah, that's why I love collect.
$150, I think.
Fuck yeah.
Tonight.
Well, I remember when we were into those badass bulls. Do you still have any of those by chance?
Yep.
Oh, so I sold my badass bull, and so I bought this NFT. Let me tell you guys something. Crypto Airborne is got his finger on the pulse when it comes to this NFT stuff, because I bought this badass bull for like, I don't know it was a super low floor price. I think the gas fees were probably
whatever. I'll show you guys my whole thing.
More than
anyway.
Yeah, the gas
look at how
fees
many I
are
have.
more. Oh yeah, so you're sitting decent.
I've got a lot, but the collection's kind of, I wouldn't say dead. They paused it right now for the new year. So I don't know. That's the
Interesting.
risk when it comes to buying these NFTs. It's just there's so many collections out there. Like you got to find a good community. I think that's gonna make it rise
Yeah.
above. Like right here, my top ones I think currently are these two, the women and weapons. Because if you
Okay.
guys know Gary Vaynerchuk, he hosted a new Twitter Spaces where they feature small collectors and NFT projects. And the day that they launched it, I was online. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and they launched it. And I went and searched the rarity of it.
I
And
remember
like this
that.
one right here is like 694 of 10,000. I think actually got an offer on it. I think I paid 0.45 ETH for it, and I paid 0.3 ETH for these. But the creator of this collection is going to that Gary V Con in Minneapolis that I
Oh
was
yeah.
telling you about, because he's holding a big conference in May, I think. He's having all these speakers, and the creator of this NFT collection is going to be there, and their community is awesome. Like I'm in their Discord and whatnot, but yeah, I'm getting off on a tangent, but yeah.
Maybe we should do a meetup and go to that. That sounds interesting. What's the did they say what the entrance fee is for that?
I have no idea.
Probably like a Bitcoin.
No, I have no idea. But yeah, here's the Platy doodles. I have 5 of them minted, but obviously they're not going to show it yet because it hasn't gone public. So who knows the rarity of these? I've got
So it's just kind
103
of
to
random.
105. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
That's sick. That's sick.
But that's the Platy doodles for you guys.
Nice. Yeah, thanks for getting into that. I'm excited about that project. Like I said, I'm gonna try to pick up maybe 1 or 2 of those. It's just the gas fees. It stinks throwing money at that.
Yeah.
I'd rather the gas fees go to the creator or something else. But yeah, that just kind of goes. Let's just see here. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here, unless you have anything else that you want to show, Crypto Airborne.
Nope. That's it. I'm good.
So I was kind of like looking at this article from Yahoo News, Crypto for Christmas. And I think that this is going to be a lot more common thing going forward, because if you guys are a last minute shopper like myself, you know, and you know that, hey, Crypto Airborne's into crypto, right? Okay, I forgot to get him something, or I was too lazy to go get him something. Hey, how about this? I gift him an NFT. So I do think that, going forward, we might start seeing a lot of people gifting crypto to friends and family members. And not only will this seem insignificant to some of these people that may not be exposed to cryptocurrency, uh, I think over time this is going to have a lasting effect where, this is really, they're going to say, okay, I've got, 1,000 CKB now. What do I do with 1,000 CKB? Well, you sit on this until it hits $1. That's what you do. And so it might start piquing their interest to enter the crypto space. So I do think that, by a lot of these people gifting crypto for Christmas, whether or not, or whatever holiday it is that you celebrate, I don't care. They're, by default, we're going to be entering people into the crypto verse.
Yeah.
By default. So it's kind of interesting, whether it's crypto or NFTs. This is a very interesting article, to say the least. So another thing I wanted to kind of touch on, since we were talking cryptocurrency, and that's inside China's underground crypto mining operation, where people are risking it all to make Bitcoin. Now, I don't know about you guys, but like China's banned crypto. I think like just knowing China and the punishments that they hand down for minuscule offenses like jaywalking. If you get caught jaywalking, they post a picture of you up on like all the billboards in the areas that you live in, and basically publicly shame you for jaywalking, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty scary, to be honest
And
with you. It's
yeah,
like called, don't they have like social network scores or something like that? Because there's
probably.
like social something scores.
And if you really mess up, they'll execute you and send the family the bill for the cost of the bullet. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. Would you guys be mining crypto in China if it was banned? Let's say you're sitting on a little operation or a little warehouse of miners like this. You've got a bunker that that you might be able to mine. Do
Yeah.
you mine or do you not?
I'm just curious. I'm curious. I would love to find someone that runs these operations and be like, what did they do? Because if that's their whole life, where they were making tons of money, okay, so they banned Bitcoin. So everything that they've made, they can't like take that from you. It's going to be in one of their wallets.
Right.
So they're just taking the physical aspect of the operation out of their hands. So didn't they make them? They actually like took them, or did they just make them stop mining? Is what I don't know the details on that.
Well, it's kind of like saying
Confiscated them all, and that's why.
marijuana. Yeah, it's kind of like saying marijuana is illegal, and then everybody still does it. I don't do it, but you know what I'm saying. It's everywhere. So I
Yeah,
think like there's probably more Bitcoin mining operations
underground.
than we realize, but now they're being pushed underground to
Yeah,
these black market Bitcoin mining,
like you legit can't ban Bitcoin because there's
Right.
nodes all over the world, and that's what makes
Right.
Bitcoin so, like, you know, great.
Right. But now now that they've criminalized it, it's kind of like putting these crypto miners in the same space as like drug dealers and stuff like that, where they have to take everything underground, and it's just so crazy. I mean, I don't know. This is saying that this is a Bitcoin mine in Sichuan, China. I mean, this looks pretty ghetto to me.
Yeah. So are they all underground then? They're just like secret bunkers and like.
I think so. I think so.
Because okay, they
Nowadays at
banned
least.
Bitcoin, but like as long as they don't ban the internet, they're fine. Which I don't. But their internet stuff is real restricted, and these guys probably use VPNs or something crazy. I don't know, that are running these operations. So there's always ways to get around it.
Right. And so a November report from a research group estimated that there is 109,000 active crypto mining addresses in China on a daily basis. But like you said, if they're VPNing,
How do they know that data is accurate or whatever?
exactly. And the fact is that crypto mining doesn't take a very, you don't need a strong internet connection to crypto mine. It's such little data. So I thought this was kind of interesting, and man, I would love to have a setup like this. Like, man,
And they probably got those for so cheap though, because that's like that's where they manufacture them or whatever.
yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Why doesn't a
Probably walk over to the gold shell distributor.
yeah?
Probably walk right over there and hey, let me have 10 of those.
Well,
Are there any?
they probably go and borrow a bunch, use them, return them, and then they ship them to us.
Could have swore I had a hair on one of mine.
Really? For real? Or no? Okay. So I know, Marcos, you've been kind of talking to me about crypto mining in your location, and I don't know if you feel comfortable sharing whatever you want about it. I know
Sure.
that you're trying to really kind of scale an operation.
Yeah, definitely. So recently, most recently, the past couple of months, I had looked into crypto mining, and of course, you look at numbers and everything. And I'm very like you guys, I'm very big on the CKB and anything mineable, right? So I was I tend to run with my ideas at 105 miles an hour, and my wife says like you can't do something normally like everyone else. You've got to do it like 10 times better than everyone else, or you've got to just run into this, full force. So with that being said, I was looking at, mining and how to mine and this and that. And I run into these images of like, like that right there on your screen there. These, yeah, there you go. Like those larger setups. And so a light bulb went off in my head. So I started looking at different resources and I kind of just fell like into the right place. I reached out to a buddy of mine who happens to have a suite available in his building. And actually, he's got 4 available. And I said, hey, dude, well, what are you doing with them? And he says, well, why don't you come and see? So it's actually like 5 minutes down from here. So I went out there. This dude is literally paying rent on suites for storage. And I'm like, bro, no, like, let's make use of this room and make some money. And so I pitched him the idea of mining crypto. And it turns out, well, that particular area where his building is at, it has been designated by the city as like a, moving forward tech 2021. Let's move forward and start building, tech oriented businesses, or allowing tech oriented businesses in this area. So all the chips kind of fell down in the right place. So, long story short, we were able to secure that location. He says, dude, as of right now, the agreement is like, hey, let's get equipment, let's get stuff. We can run an operation here. He says, and don't worry about overhead. He goes, I'm already paying rent. I'm already paying light. I'm already paying water. I'm already paying internet. He says, let's just get started. So we were able to budget some funding for one CK5. We were gonna, get it and see how that runs for us. And as of right now, we're just waiting. I'm patiently waiting, and by patiently I mean 10 times a day checking the Gold Shell Twitter.
Mhm.
So I'm patiently waiting for a product drop to get my hands on a CK5. So I'm patiently waiting for that, and I've budgeted enough to, afford half of another one already. And so he'll meet me halfway. So the agreement that we kind of have right now is that, we go half on equipment and let's get it set up, and don't worry about overhead until later.
Nice.
So that's where we're at now. And then so when I threw out my idea on my social media, um, I had no shortage of people reaching out to me like, hey man, whatever you're doing, I want to be a part of. I had, at least in a 1 hour time span, at least 12 of my buddies say, hey man, I want in on it. Let's, how can we do this? So what I'm having in mind is, once we get the setup up and running, we're probably going to use a percentage of our building and just stack some miners on there for everyone else, and they just pay us a comparable rent like they would, let's say, with Compass Mining or any of these other bigger
Yep.
businesses. So in the short to midterm, that's the vision and the goal that we have for ourselves. And that's, where we're going to start. But as of right now, what's in the planning is to, get the operation going. And we're at this point, we're patiently waiting on Gold Shell to relieve us some beloved product, because I mean, it's been, I think, close to 5 weeks now, or 4 weeks, that they haven't really dropped any.
You
And
can get
I'm
one
just,
right now, like I said, on miningsyndicate.com.
Oh man.
Pay a little bit more, $13,200, but you can buy one right now.
Oof.
and I tend to be a little on the elbow side of that, right, to not pay, but I just might, I've been known to be, a little impulsive and just make a move like that, to where I said, okay, you know what, let me get started now.
Yeah.
But hey, if Gold Shell could bless us and drop product sometime this week, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully they can bless you with a CK6. That would be
that's,
sick.
Ooh, yeah. Let's
after
get their attention.
this stream, I'm definitely gonna look into the CK6s, because actually, and on that topic, I tried to get in on. I got an invitation by email by Gold Shell, but by the time I logged in, like, with plenty of time available before the stream, but as soon as I logged on and registered, they said that had already been full. So I know a lot of people weren't too happy about that.
Oh, dude, that's crazy. Yeah. So if anybody's watching this, hit up Marcos. Oh, somebody drop that down.
I'm definitely interested as an early
Hit up
investor.
Marcos if you guys see some stuff go down.
I'm stuttering. Become the first CKB Compass Mining, like,
Dude.
because Compass Mining is just strictly Bitcoin, right? Like, I
Yes.
think they used to do other things, but they went back to just straight Bitcoin mining. But maybe start up a new startup with just CKB and other types of hosting.
Yeah, and like my best case scenario in this type of case would be like to somehow get product from Gold Shell, like, without restriction, and there would be no shortage, and no shortage of people wanting product, and And I'd bring a lot of money to Gold Show if they could, guarantee me some product, because I just have buyers lined up like anyone would with the appropriate setting, But my long-term vision is eventually just fill up these office spaces with miners, and if I can have it all mine CKB, all the better,
It's crazy.
So, but when I see setups like that, like where Six is scrolling on, it feeds that or feeds that drive to just keep going until that setup is complete, and I won't stop until it happens.
That's awesome, dude.
Should look into grants. Well,
so
remember the.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Six Figures.
He's got you beat there.
The Nervos Network grants that a lot of people don't really talk about. I don't know if they'd be into that mining thing though, but I know there's a lot of money into the grant thing that people don't really talk about.
Well, actually, I had reached out to we have Texas, of course, is a very blockchain friendly state. You guys know that. So there's the Texas Blockchain Commission.
Yep.
And a matter of fact, that's how I recently got into HBAR, because I know HBAR has a pretty big sponsoring influence over these Texas Blockchain Commission meetings and little powwows that they have there. So I did reach out. I sent some emails out. I got an email response probably within 24 hours. And the response I got, because I had inquired about obtaining some grants to launch a crypto farm. And the response was, hey, we do have grants, but they're not available, ... yet. So I said, okay, it's a matter of a waiting game, then so be it. And they on their Twitter, they seem to run these meetings pretty frequently, like monthly or so, or sometimes 2 or 3 times a month. But from where I'm at in Texas, I'm in deep South Texas, so I'm at the very, very bottom in the city of McAllen. They run all of these meetings up in like the Austin, Dallas, and Houston area. So for me, that's about a 5 to 6 hour drive. So I gotta kind of time it between my days off to, hopefully get a meeting. And they're free for it's free for their members, and I think like $30 for non-members. But I already looked into the membership fee, and it's like close to $400 annually. But I feel that, for the opportunity to network with people and meet people, it's a very small price to pay, especially when you're dropping thousands of dollars on mining equipment. I mean, what's $400 to, network with people, for a whole year?
Right.
Yeah.
That's like, once you get into it, that's like a week of crypto mining profit, or a couple days worth.
Yeah, most definitely. And especially with a CK5 setup and several of them.
Yeah, I think the Texas Blockchain Group is partnered with Voyager.
Is that so?
With education, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because they were at the Dallas Mavericks that meeting with Mark Cuban and Steve Ehrlich. They were in the audience, so I think that the Texas Blockchain Group is going to bring education to Voyager. However, I don't know. I think they announced it then, but I haven't heard or seen anything like that. And actually, we're trying to get some of the Texas Blockchain Group onto our VGX Heroes Wednesday AMAs, where I know someone in our group is trying to get them together. But that is definitely a good resource. I would definitely hit them up, especially with your operation. Because if anything, pay the money, whatever. Get the networking, the people that are smart about that, probably been doing all about that, like on board with it, because they'll definitely be able to help you out. Because there's not many crypto friendly states right now, and I think Texas is one of the leaders right now. Florida is. In my area, there is nothing in South Jersey, at least not that I know of, unless someone knows. Like Philadelphia, like I look up meetup groups and stuff around here. There's like nothing going on. It's just me. I network through the internet. It's pretty much what I do.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Six is planning his Dubai trip next.
I tell you what, dude. Like, Dubai is on the list of places that I want to visit in my lifetime. I want to experience the culture. I want to experience the huge skyscrapers, the police cars that are, they're using Lambos and Ferraris and shit.
I wonder if they're hiring.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Like, being prior military or whatever, and I'd say I'd never go back to the Middle East. Like, F that. There are some rich ass Middle Eastern countries I would like to visit, and Dubai is definitely one of them. Was it United Arab Emirates or whatever? There's Qatar, super rich country. I think it's one of the richest countries in the world. When I was on my way to Iraq, I stopped in oh my god, starts with a K.
Kazakhstan.
Kuwait. It was so weird, but Kuwait, it was like, I remember going on this highway that looked like what you're showing us. It was like a 6-lane thing, all LED lights. I remember seeing off in this was at nighttime, like off in the distance was like Kuwait City, which is another really rich, like oil city in the Middle East or whatever. But we were escorted by the like bunch of police and stuff. It was crazy, but everything looked, it's just so different than it is here in the United States. In Dubai, I can't imagine that, man. Like, it's if not the richest country in the world. I think Monaco is. It's a real small country, but yeah, Dubai, I would totally go. We should do a meetup there once we all become crypto millionaires. Well,
I'm down for that.
Everyone else,
yeah, exactly. So Binance is aiming to set up a crypto hub in Dubai. I mean, that sounds like the right place to be doing that. I know that there something going on in Miami too. I want to say, the city of Miami's doing something.
There's like a battle between like New York City, Miami, Texas. They're like the biggest hubs right now. And then actually, I think there's a city in Tennessee that is gonna pay their employees in Bitcoin. That's recent news. It just came to me. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Sick. No, I haven't, but that's interesting to me.
Totally random. Like actually, let me look that up while you guys talk.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, and you know, it's really kind of, I think, fitting for Dubai to be a hub of the crypto industry, simply because everything in Dubai is bigger and better. It seems like they have, like Airborne was saying, some of the, the richest, wealthiest people in Dubai, and it's just they just seem to go over the top on everything. So I think that they would be a good custodian, I should say that, of being a crypto hub, and they would definitely take care of the industry. Not to mention, everybody wants to go there. So I was looking at, they had like the world's deepest pool or something that they just built, and they sunk like a brand new Rolls Royce in this pool that you can like dive down to underwater. And I'm like, who sinks a new Rolls Royce in a pool just to have some, I don't know, snorkeling pleasure?
It's crazy. Like, there's so much money there that like Lamborghinis are like just regular BMWs and Mercedes you see driving around here in the States. Like, if you own a Lambo, it's nothing over there, at least from what I've read.
I think the Lambo is like the cab driver car, right?
It's crazy, dude. It's all about culture and perspective, man. Like, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
There's an old article that's like like a luxury car graveyard. It's like an old Yahoo article. I don't know if you guys have ever read that, but apparently there's like people that evade taxes or evade paying a tax, and they park their luxurious cars in these airport parking lots and flee the country, right? So there's these like parking lot full of luxury cars that are untouched. I don't know if you guys ever came across that article.
I've seen that.
I think I've heard about that.
I've seen that.
There's like,
isn't
it like graveyards? Like there's like exotic car graveyards or something.
I've seen covered in dust and everything.
Yeah,
Ferrari Enzos with like an inch of dust and sand.
We should import them. See how much they cost. If there's like a business that sells them.
I'm gonna pose as a wrecker service and take one of them.
Yeah. See, the thing is they have like strict laws over there on theft and stuff like that. So if you even, like, let's say you take the wrong car or something, I read up on this because Crypto Airborne, that was my first thought. How do we get these things out of the country? And it was to the point where they have such strict like lending laws and stuff like that. Where if you get caught stealing any possession, it's like a hefty jail sentence.
Yeah, they don't mess around in the Middle East.
It's
at
not like
all.
doing
Anything.
time in the county jail. You're going to the pounding in the ass prison and then some.
Yeah, it's so strict. It's like you can't drink over there. That's like a typical
That's
Middle
true.
East thing. They don't. Nobody drinks in the Middle East. At least I remember in Iraq. It was crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But yeah, just getting back to the, like you guys are saying, how that company in Tennessee wants to, or what was it, the county or the state wants to pay people in Bitcoin?
Yeah, Mayor Scott Conger of Jackson, Tennessee, one of the youngest mayors of the city, and 70,000 people has elected, joined the friendly challenge and said that he would take a paycheck in Bitcoin. Okay, so I guess the mayor is taking his check in Bitcoin.
Which is
I
pretty
swear there
sweet.
was something else. Yeah, it might have been that. I thought I remember reading something else about it, but yeah, random city wherever Jackson, Tennessee is.
Well, just kind of piggybacking off this, I found this article interesting because credit union seeks regulator approval to hold crypto assets. Now, credit unions are usually these non-profit, banks. They're a little bit better than the big banks, as far as I'm concerned. I left big banks for credit union myself, simply because I didn't like what Wells Fargo was doing. But I really did think that this is definitely, a step in the right direction. And we all know how badly Wells Fargo, U.S. Bank, some of these other big banks desperately want in on the crypto craze. So I thought this was interesting that the federal regulator's recent letter confirms that many credit unions thought should be possible under existing rules, giving them assurance they may need to move forward with partnerships, said Lance Nogel. So it almost seems like maybe there's no, maybe there's no avenue for them to hold it directly. There is hope that they can partner up with some other firms that might be able to hold it for them. It was kind of one of these articles where, um, I don't know. It was kind of like I'm getting the vibes of like early, um, crypto adoption by big bank. Because I do think that crypto is ultimately going to take down the big banks. So if they can get in on it with everyone else, it might lessen the blow. It's kind of like goes to show too, like all the companies in the 90s that failed to get online, like the big box stores and really hit it off, they just kind of all went out of business. I think we're going to kind of see the same tidal wave hit big banks. Because, hey, when you can make 10% on your holdings in the Voyager app, but you're making 0.01 in Wells Fargo, and then you get charged monthly fees.
It's
That's
insane.
stupid.
It's insane how much money centralized banks have been taking people. It's like we grew up our whole lives thinking, oh, put your money in savings. You're going to make
Right.
0.01, blah, 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 blah. And they go around and they lend that money out to other people. And then they make a crap ton off of it because they're pocketing everything else. And then you have crypto coming along with like Voyager, where I'm earning 10.5% interest on USDC on my holdings. It's a no-brainer. Like either banks are going to fail, centralized banks are going to fail, or they're going to slowly partner, or some of these big banks are going to buy out Voyager, rumor, or Coinbase or whatever.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I could definitely see like an exchange that's already set up in the United States just buying out Voyager, or Voyager buying out
These small
another
banks, centralized banks. What if?
Yeah,
I never thought about that. What if like Coinbase or Voyager, whatever, in a year or whatever, they just grow massively. Like Voyager's grown so much. Next year, say they expand, whatever. Now they're so big and no one's into banks. They start buying out centralized banks and then they incorporate the crypto into it.
Probably what will happen. And for a company like Voyager to get on the US stock exchange, it might just be easier for them to buy out a company that's already on it versus going through all the legal eagle hoops that you have to go through to get on the U.S. stock exchange. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. But
Yeah, because Voyager's
man.
about to be on NASDAQ here very soon, which is going to be
Okay.
pretty awesome.
So maybe if they're planning their own listing, we won't see that. But
Yeah.
here's one for you guys. So scammers, and this is kind of the dark side of crypto. I try to do my, 6figs rug pull Wednesday every Wednesday, where we'll go over, all the dark side of crypto. Scammers steal 150K worth of crypto from NFT project with Discord hack. So what happened was some scammers or some hackers hijacked. Whoops, I don't know what happened here. Hijacked Fractal's announcement bot and deployed some sort of scam where they included a link. Basically, I think what happened is people could go to whatever link it was, and they thought that they were going to get an NFT or something like that. And they had to pay with Solana. And you can see that it all got basically depleted from their accounts. So an estimated value of Solana stolen to be around 150K. That's pretty significant. But you know what? I'm kind of surprised that it's not more. They must have been right on top of this. And just looking at Fractal here, they've got 243,000 followers. So the fact that people got taken for 150K, like that's the price of a single NFT in the grand scheme of things. I mean, it sucks. People got away with 150K, but it is what it is. It could be worse. I'm not happy. Nobody's happy to see people get taken like that, but I just thought that was kind of an interesting article. Maybe that's something that more people will need to be on the lookout for in the future. It's lucrative to hijack a Twitter handle and put out some disinformation.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to be successful once a year and rack in 150K. So I think it's about time. We're about an hour. I didn't want this to go too long.
We didn't even do any TA.
And
Hour and 7 minutes with no TA.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're going to be doing TA next. So I'm going to limit this to like 10 minutes. So we'll start off with Marcos. You got anything that we want to check out here?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let's take a look at. I recently got in a H bar. So how about some H bar? How about that?
I like H bar. Getting a little feedback.
I just sold my bag a couple days ago.
What are you talking about? You just sold your bag.
Yeah.
Tripping.
And then it pumps, of course. That's my luck, though. So.
So the last time we were looking at H bar, I don't remember. It was probably the last live stream we did. We can see that price. Excuse me 1 second. Price did spill over the edge of this upward trend, so that is kind of concerning to me. But there is a silver lining to this, and here it is. So, in my own opinion, not financial or trading advice, we can see that there could be a little bit of potential for maybe some sort of ascending triangle that is forming. We could even argue that through here, or maybe up like this. I would like to see this really build a solid base, though, out to maybe June of 22, May of 22, maybe even late March, April. It'll be interesting to see what does happen here. But I do think that we might be seeing H bar make this run up to around the 44-cent level. Let's throw up a little time sequence here to see if maybe we can predict when that will happen. And H bar's had one hell of a run. I can remember starting to do TA on H bar back. It would have been January, February of this year. And yeah, we were sitting at 6 cents at that time. Man, I wish I would have really gone deep into H bar. But I'm just looking for some time sequence, and I'm looking for some points that I'm really liking this point here to this point here, so we're going to throw up a little time sequence. And in addition to this, we can see that there was some decent Elliott wave impulses to the upside, kind of in a disorganized fashion. But we can see it here, here, little consolidation in here, and then a run up. We're on the daily chart though, so we won't be able to see that fine detail. But if we throw down this time sequence from March to June, excuse me, what we do see in hindsight is that this time sequence was dead on, predicted the reversal to the T. So what are we going to see here with H bar? We've got a date of January 6th coming up. So, I mean, this could be pretty nice for H bar. I mean, we're kind of seeing the beginning stages of Elliott wave theory, just in my opinion here. Maybe something like this. So, I don't know. I'm hoping that we see, some more higher moves to the upside. I'm going to look at this on a 12-hour chart. Okay. So, on a 12-hour chart, this thing is looking decent. I would say that we'll at least come up to this 36-cent level and at least test this 200. If we can move on top of that, there might be a little bit of consolidation period as we'll be above the cloud on the 12-hour. But I do think that this thing could possibly be setting itself up for a move to the upside here in the next few weeks, which would be awesome. I think H bar is looking decent as long as we don't violate this trend line here. Excuse me one second. Sorry, guys, I keep coughing. But yeah, I think H bar is looking good. And for the most part, I'm hoping we get this ascending triangle that is forming. I mean, you could maybe even argue the fact that, hey, if we don't make it through this cloud, we can almost see that there may be some sort of inverse head and shoulders that plays out. So that could be what this January 5th date is referring to. Maybe a cup and handle. You never know. So I like H bar, always have, and that does look decent. So let's see. Do we got any other requests for TA in the comments section, or do you have any other ones, Marcos?
Yeah, I think I saw someone ask for ADA, VGX.
Nice. Yeah, let's check out Ada here quick. And I do know that, man, I've been waiting for Ada to come down to this $5 level, but it just did not make it. Like $1.16. Oh man, dude, I was thinking that Ada was coming down here, at least a little scam wick where I could have just picked up a bag, in a flash second. But Ada's looking good, and we have really seen Cardano suffer greatly. I would have never thought that we would have seen Ada sub $1.50 ever again, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too.
But
That was my
here we are.
That was like my biggest holding earlier this year. I had a couple 100,000.
Yep. Yeah, and so what's interesting is that when we moved this low from this point up to this point, ADA really does kind of come down to the 161.8 in this sense. But we can see that I really want to check this out on the daily chart. I'm a big fan of the daily chart when doing this live stream stuff, just because we get a better sense of direction long term. And we can see that.
As 6fig's getting that drawn up real quick, I just wanted to bring up to everyone who's been an ADA holder, or if you are an ADA holder, I've been one for years. I bought into ADA when it was 7 cents, I think was my cheapest buy. And I bought a crap ton all the way up to 15 cents within the last couple of years. And that's where I've accumulated over a couple 100,000. And don't let the price action get you guys down, because fundamentally it's going to blow up. In my opinion, not financial advice. There's so much being built. There's so much FUD behind this coin. It's laughable. Like, I still hold a decent bag right now, but it's patience, man. Like, this is like the whole year. It's been pretty much been going down,
You know,
especially the last couple of months.
if I may add to that, people use Bitcoin for their store of value, and there's nothing wrong with that. But a while back, my wife and I decided to use ADA as our store of value. So we're still DCAing into that every paycheck and extra
Nice.
funding. And
Yep.
so ADA, I see it long term with, $1 trillion market cap one day, $2 trillion market cap one day. And,
Easy.
we'll be looking at these live streams and saying, man, I can't believe we were complaining at, ADA being down $1.25 or $1.50. It's and I feel the same way with CKB. I said there'll be a day, man, where we're all frustrated with CKB not breaking that dollar point just yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And
Patience and hodling.
So your wife is into crypto too, Marcos.
She's very supportive. She kind of
Awesome.
and she gives me slack about this. So months ago, she says, "Hey, let's put a little bit in the Shiba Inu." And I said, "No, it's a meme coin, but you know the spiel. No. Well, I ended up not putting a penny in the Shiba Inu, and when it had this recent run up, was like 2 months ago. My wife's like, "See, I told you should have listened to me." And I was like, "Yeah, you win this one, honey."
Oh, dude. Yeah, I made some money on that Shiba Inu run up.
Nice.
I thought it was going to run up a little bit more than it did, but I'm glad I got out when I did. I'll just say that much. I know Crypto Airborne held the bags.
I did, and I sold it at a loss. Full disclosure. Yep. Remember how I told you I was up? I sold my H bar and my Shiba at a loss. I'm trying to offset some of the capital gains I'm going to make this year. So I was like, whatever. You know what I mean? Tax loss harvesting. A little bit.
I kind of did the same with a little bit of a Ergo. Put that in the yoke.
Okay. Yeah, that's Ergo. Man, that's taking a beating too.
Yeah, NFA, but Ergo prices right now are pretty juicy.
I agree. I do agree on that. Yeah, I've come to really like the coin. That at first I kept having people hit me up, Ergo. Like, I don't have time for this. But then all of a sudden I realized, UTXO alliance with Nervos and ADA or Cardano. And I'm like, well, damn, they got to be doing something right. So I looked into them and that was that. But yes, Cardano is, I think this is really setting up for a nice rebound. And primary reason on the daily chart is that price action is just, this is one thing I love about Ichimoku cloud trading. It's too damn far away from the cloud right now. And you'll kind of get used to this if you guys decide to trade Ichimoku cloud. I love using it, especially like on these run-ups. I'll see something run up and I'll be like, okay, this is too far to the cloud, away from the cloud. It's going to trade sideways. It's just kind of a great thing. And I'll show you guys the Shiba charts in just a moment, because that's a great example of using the cloud. But I think for now, price action is still too far away from the cloud. We've got the conversion line really still at a downward angle. I do think that with this price pumping a little bit outside of the symmetrical triangle, we're going to see this red line straighten out, possibly with this 50 moving average. And this is going to cause an explosive move up. I do think that price action will move directly up to this 50 moving average. If we can pass that, we're going to test this 200. And I'd say if we can get above the cloud or pass through it, I don't know, somewhere right in here, that would be ideal, because if price action is trying to get through the cloud here, there's just more problems, more resistance. You got to think of these red clouds as big bears you're trying to get through in a way. So
the thinner the cloud, the easier it is to get through, and where we need to get pushed through the cloud right now is what it looks like.
In most cases. Wow. Not all the time.
So there could be a big spike up then, if it's
possibly. Yeah. So I mean, we'd be looking, I'd say, first week of January, we're still sitting pretty decent. But you can even see, like, here's price action. It loves to pass through thin spots of the cloud.
Wow, it's like almost perfect.
Yep.
Mhm.
And here's an example. Here's an exception though. So even to the downside, you can see how hard of a time price action had traveling through this thicker part of the cloud. So that's something to keep in mind. And I mean, I'm trying to find another example. It's tough to find on the fly, but you can kind of see how thin these clouds were and how easy price action just kind of traded right through them. There's really not any good examples on the daily for ADA because there's just not that much history. It only goes back a couple years. So I do think that ADA's sitting really good. What
Nice.
else? We got VGX. What
Do
do you
it, VGX.
VGX?
Big Tico in the comments. What's going on, man?
Oof, man, what's up, brother? Good to see you here. So I don't remember. I'm trying to really refresh my memory on where I left off with this because there's a bunch of crap up here on the charts. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. So I just want to double check this time sequence because when I switch from time frames, okay, time sequence tends to change a little bit. I'm not really liking that. Let's go from here to here. So again, I'm not liking that either. It's telling me December 23rd, 6 p.m. Central Time, give or take 4 hours on either side of that. Maybe a volatile moment for Voyager. Now, I do think that in the last video I put out on Voyager, I was kind of warning how, hey, if this 127 fails, we might revisit this $2.34-ish level,
Ugh.
which puts it right back in the same spot we were all September, October, and part of November, which really stinks.
But look at the Ichimoku cloud, how like big that is with no green. Isn't that like a
Yeah,
pretty big
this is a very
cloud?
bearish stretch. Yes, this is a very bearish stretch. And you can just see that.
What about the beginning of the year when we pumped from
We don't.
what was
Oh,
there a big cloud then? Like I don't know like the fundamentals of a Ichimoku cloud enough to talk like you see
yeah,
how much price action moved in the beginning of the year where we went up to
yeah.
$7 and then now we're obviously
So I
we
don't
pumped
have
so
those
hard.
charts right now.
Oh, that's right because
Yep,
it's the new chart.
yep. But
Hey,
here's a good. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to ask you. So, where your time sequence starts, do these corrective waves can they play like consecutively, one after another? Because it kind of looks like there's like consecutive corrective waves there.
Yeah, and they definitely can. So a lot of times, what we'll see is this. Like, here's a corrective wave here. A sideways holding pattern. Um, but on a grander scheme, we might be able to argue that we might be seeing something. Oh man, this one's tough, but we might be seeing something like this play out. It's just tough with this chart right now, but yeah, you can definitely have consecutive.
And then maybe like a
Corrective wave.
possible inverse coming up through that thinner part of the cloud. Possible.
Possibly, yeah. You could definitely make the argument. If I had to guess on an inverse head and shoulders, it might be from something along these lines. Somewhere in there. Just a guess. This is just such a bizarre price action. You just don't see this.
Huh.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
It's just like computer trading or someone short selling or something, just bleeding the market dry.
That's what we always talk about, like in the Discord for VGX Heroes and stuff. It's like who's selling? Like
Hmm.
I think
Well,
it's
I
maybe
I know
just
who
our
it
community.
is.
It's like who? It's like either bot trading, like everyone.
No.
If you're smart or you have any common sense, like VGX is such a long term hold, and so much great things are coming out in 2022 of next year. Like within the first
Mhm.
3 months of next year are going to be absolutely insane. You get debit card, Europe expansion, the New York Bit License, NASDAQ, Europe is in March.
Mm-hmm.
Lending, the particle NFT, there's so much. This is like, and then the price actions doesn't even, match this. But then this goes back to all the other coins that I've invested into, where you got to ignore the price action and look at the fundamentals of what you're investing in, type of thing.
Right.
I see the downside to this. Yeah. I mean, I bought $32,000 of VGX the other day.
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
still stacking. I don't know. I just ignore the noise. I think that's where
Yeah.
people need to
It's
think. But it's hard for some people, especially like
oh,
it
dude.
depends on your financial situation and stuff. Like if you,
Right.
it's all these people that I don't know who's watching, but like all the Voyager people who invested in Voyager earlier this year, where it ran up so high and they all bought in when it was $7, $6, $5.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, oh, this coin sucks. This token sucks.
Yep.
It went downhill. Dude, it's like it's up 12,000%. Or not 1,200%, my bad. 1,200% in the year. So it's still doing well. It's just you got in at the wrong time because you weren't aware of the VGX token. I got
Right.
in before people were talking about it. That's what investing is. You invest when
Yeah.
when people aren't talking about things.
Yeah, that's when smart money moves in, right? When you did. And
Yeah.
and so we can kind of see how Voyager is in this. It's in this bullish, falling wedge. It wants to break out so badly, and it has in some instances on some smaller time frame charts. But for the most part, we are seeing the bleeding continue. Uh, we are currently underneath this 127, which is kind of dangerous for Voyager. If it can't climb up, I do think that we're going to see this thing fall even further. And like I was saying, this $2.36 level, well, this falling wedge really kind of brings us down to maybe at least the $2.60 level. It wouldn't surprise me to see some sort of scam wick down to at least $2.50 somewhere in there. Unfortunately, if this fails, but this could pull a Yui on the daily chart. We are trading very far away from the cloud. We're just looking for this conversion line to straighten out. And if that does, I do think that Voyager token will have no problem at all running back up to around this $3.55 level. If that passes, I think it's off to the races at least to $4. That's as high as I'm going to go on Voyager right now until we get there. So it's in this position right now. It's way oversold. It's been way oversold since $7. But yeah. Let's get on to the next one. What did we got?
StormX, people are saying.
STMX. Okay. And then we're going to wrap this up after StormX, I think. And why isn't this coming up? Just because I want to be respectful of everyone's time. And this is an hour and 30 minutes now. So StormX is this thing was primed. It had the opportunity to really cruise up through this cloud. And I can remember making StormX videos when we were back through here, and I was so confident that we were going to trade through this weak part of the cloud, and it did try to. But I think Bitcoin kind of tanked early December-ish, somewhere in there, and it just pulled it right down with it. So the last video I did, okay, we've got kind of a symmetrical triangle. Market's kind of shaping back up. This is a great opportunity for StormX to pass through this Ichimoku cloud. And I do think that if that does happen, we may see the 50 bounce off the 200, which would be a wonderful thing on the daily chart. I do think that we would probably, let's get old Fibonacci here. I think that we would probably see price return to this 4.5 cent level, almost 6 cent level, definitely the 7 cent level ish, somewhere in there. So I think that StormX is looking good right now, and that we are what is good with StormX is that we're still seeing these lows continue to get higher, with the exception of this low here. But it is what it is. So I think that
You should zoom into the 1 minute chart and
1
see
minute.
when BitBoy, he actually did a video on a paid promotion on StormX today. So I don't know who paid. Maybe the team did, but yeah,
Do you know what time?
BitBoy did a video on StormX today, which is I think it was the first time,
Yes.
like 6-7 o'clock tonight or something. Let me just.
So
I'm just curious to see if like once he put out that video, it pumped a little bit.
I'm seeing something right around
8 hours ago.
8 hours ago. So 2
So whatever time that
2
is.
my time.
Like, did it
So
do anything?
this would be the area somewhere in here. So it didn't really do much. People probably weren't digging it that much.
Yeah,
Scam coin.
just no one's paying
I'm
attention to the
kidding.
market right now, man.
That's
I
true.
noticed it on
Yeah.
my YouTube analytics and stuff. Like, just
Yeah. Views are way down.
yeah.
Yeah, I went from 115,000 views every 28 days down to like 70,000. So people are down on their portfolios. They're just not even tuning in. So, but I think I'm going to end this with CKB.
And I remember back in, I think the sentiment was very similar back in May, right? And, we had that dip, I think, past the spring leading into the summer. And of course, like Six said, hindsight is, 2020. But there was a lot of opportunities to get into your favorite cryptos at some very good prices back then. And, if you fast forward time, we might be at, of course, not financial advice, but good timing now to maybe snag up a little bit of your favorite cryptos.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. Man, people got some sweetheart deals.
Be fearful when others are greedy. Greedy when others are fearful. Right now, not financial advice, like you said. It's probably a good time to get in. I
remember looking at Avalanche at $15 back in the spring. Avalanche was like $15 a coin.
Wow.
And I remember people kept talking about it, and I just was like, no. I'm like,
I had $5,000 of Avalanche at 50 bucks, and I sold it at 55, I think, and then it ran up.
Wow.
So, but yeah, that's a good point, man. Exactly. I should have never sold my 200 Bitcoin I had back in the day for $7 a coin or whatever.
You'd be going live in Dubai, man.
Oh, dude. Yeah, for sure. For my yacht. But yeah, so here's CKB. I kind of covered this on my video I did earlier today. This has kind of been the same old story. I think that we may be in this little bit of an ascending triangle, and I'm trying to figure out personally if we're going to see this little imp or corrective wave to the bottom side and really test this trend line. It would make sense, but if the market pumps, I don't know what I just did there. The market pumps, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if we didn't come down and retest this area here or this 200. I don't know, because I don't want to see our portfolios go down, number one. But it would be awesome to just see price maybe come back up here and bounce off the trend line, above these levels here. So I think that if the market is really, rebounding and Bitcoin's kind of rebounding, we may be seeing somewhat of like a cup and handle kind of form, quite possibly going into maybe March. That would be my guess. So it'd be great because, hey, for all of us mining CKB, the cheaper we can mine it at, the better I feel about it as the price goes up. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Marcos?
Most definitely. I looked at the charts. It looks like Bitcoin's trying to tack on that 49.5 range, so that'd be good to see. But the longer I'm looking at crypto and looking at the overall sentiment, and not financial advice, but it's very possible that some of this run slowly extends to next year. So I think CKB being one of them, has a lot of things to roll over and unveil during 2022. So I think we're going to see a very different market that's going to probably go against prior trends and probably usher in a new era of trends. And I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, that's I'd be all for that if we could extend the alt season, things like that, into next year, um, and maybe not see these violent retracements that we've seen in the previous bull runs.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking back at some of those charts and seeing Bitcoin, pull back 90%, like that stinks for those holders.
It
So yeah.
definitely does, man. And if you think about it, when you look at some of the long term trends, it seems that even healthy Bitcoin corrections, as it hits 5 digits and maybe one day 6 digits, up into the high 6 digits, corrective waves will probably feel like a bear market, but you're still at a 5 figure Bitcoin now, and later on will be maybe at a 6 figure Bitcoin, and just these healthy corrective waves will feel like a bear market, and just really massacre some of our portfolios temporarily.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And it's just, even just expanding on that, it's tough to see CKB go from 3.5 cents down to, you know, almost retrace 50% and say that, hey, we're still on the up and up. It's tough to say that, but it is the truth. And maybe we are seeing the market stabilization that's needed for long term uh, s- growth and sustainability.
Yeah.
So we've got a time sequence on CKB. Everything looks decent by drawing off the all-time high to the next really immediate low. We can see that all these time sequence have been pretty spot on for the most part at predicting right around when momentum shifts are going to happen or reversals are going to happen. So, part of me is thinking that with CKB, we just may see this A, B, C, D, E correction happen, or maybe something like this happen. Maybe a reversal off this trend line on January 12th, or it wouldn't surprise me with CKB to just see this inverse head and shoulders, happen something like this, or maybe even see price reverse down from the top side. We'll just have to wait and see what Bitcoin does.
I have a crazy question or thought.
Yeah.
So like all your technical analysis and everything, oh, I might see this then, blah, blah, blah. So going back to the last bull run, like 2017, when Bitcoin went parabolic in December,
Hmm.
would TA have predicted that with just such parabolic movement like within that last month? Or did it just defy
Um,
TA's odds? Like,
so are you talking like this area here, trying to figure this out?
yeah, like
Oh,
could you have predicted
possibly.
that? Like, and then compare that to today? Like, could that just happen out of nowhere?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if you messed around with the charts long enough, you could find some sort of indicator that may predict this. One thing that comes to mind is a shift pitchfork, and I'm kind of liking this point here to this point here. I mean, you could almost argue that, okay, um, price action just by measuring these points, you could see Bitcoin move right up to this median line to where there was just hardcore resistance, pushing that down. But there's nothing that would have really predicted like the certain pattern, I don't think. There's one thing I want to do though. Let's just measure some time sequence quick. See, I mean, just by measuring time sequence from this swing high to this swing low, we can come close. I mean,
Yeah.
within a month of an all-time high, but still, even then, we can see that this was spot on at predicting a momentum change. Like the bottom fell off, and this was predicted, 4 years earlier.
Hmm.
I mean, there's something to be said about that. Even with right here. So we drew up these lines back in 2014. It predicted a reversal August 20th of 2020. 6 years later. I mean, that's pretty damn good right there, I would
So
say. Even though it's minuscule, it's still relevant.
can you apply that? So how would you know to move the time sequence? Yeah, to like
It's just a
is it
guessing
guessing
game for
game?
the
Yeah.
most part. I mean, even this here. So by measuring this point here to this point here, uh, it's kind of freaky, but it predicted almost like this is the
Yeah.
coronavirus crash here. So even then, there's still a little bit of a reversal that happened here. I think I'm not saying that we knew about the coronavirus back in 2017, but price action still fluctuated to the rhythm of this time sequence. And so another date to look out for what might be around August 2022. What will we see?
What about that December 28th date we kept talking about?
So December 28th, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Let's look at this on like a 4-hour chart and just trying to think back to where I drew up. I think it was from here down to here, maybe. Where did I draw that up from? I do so much of this chart stuff that I just forget where I draw up some of these time sequence placements. And that was for Bitcoin, the 28th.
Well, it was for like a lot of the coins that we were talking
Yeah.
about. Something with the 28th was the next time
Yeah.
sequence date.
So, yep. So I think this is probably where I was measuring from, this swing high to this swing low here. Maybe somewhere in here. I think it varied depending on the
Time frame.
yeah, the time frame. But if we look back in hindsight, even off this measurement, you can see how price reversed right here briefly. Price reversed here. Price reversed here. So thinking like January 2nd, December 28th, January 2nd, there may be something in here that acts as a reversal point. And we can kind of see that there is maybe a descending triangle or something like that that is forming that kind of leads down to this date. So, it's going to get interesting to see if maybe we see Bitcoin do one of these things or, do one of these things. Usually, when we see this descending triangle stuff, it's a clean break far before this time sequence. Usually, we'll see stuff break from a symmetrical triangle or ascending triangle, 1/4 of the pattern, at the end.
What
So I
about a
do
pitchfork for like,
pitchfork.
yeah, because you had a pitchfork for like previously. Is there a pitchfork that you see that you could apply to like the last year or two or something? I don't know.
So the thing about that is, so with that said, I think that it's possible, depending on where we measure from. If we go from this swing low up to this
Well,
swing
that was the
high,
Corona crash, right?
yeah,
Ignore
here's the
that because that's where TA doesn't really apply. I think like could just go to like
yeah,
regular.
yeah,
You know what
but
I
you
mean?
have to think like TA kind of resets itself too. So anything that was happening kind of gets reset by this black swan event, in
Hmm.
a sense. And sometimes,
That's what
we get a
whales try
little,
to do when they
yeah,
manipulate your
eh,
TA.
for sure, for sure. But we can throw up a little Fibonacci channel just based off this. And I haven't done this ever. You know what? I don't like that. So we're going to go up to this area here. It's so tough. I would really need to kind of tinker with some of this stuff.
Hmm.
But let's just do this.
It's like a macro. That kind of looks like the Bollinger Bands from
Yeah,
the Bitcoin charts that I've been doing a lot of videos on recently.
yeah. This may in fact be a proper placement of a Fibonacci channel. And, kind of going back to, when we see these black swan events happen, price action will tend to resume old patterns or find new patterns, but you can kind of see that price action
That's
fell out, came right up here, bounced right off this lower part of this Fibonacci channel, and here we are again. So I do think that if we fall from this Fibonacci channel, there might be all hell to pay. But this could be the point where we get. You guys have heard me kind of talk about the Fibonacci sliver, where price action, cannot move lower than this channel line, but we have some established high points of resistance, and this might be a point where we see price action basically squeeze, in between this channel line and this top level of resistance. So I don't know. I think that this is a solid trend line that Bitcoin's been on for the most part, dating back to 2015.
So I'm going to throw some crazy conspiracy stuff out there as I'm thinking about this. So it's kind of crazy how like technical analysis and fundamentals go hand in hand, because it's like if your pitchfork was straight, it's like almost the elitists and like the wealthiest people who invest in have expert people like 6figstocktrader on their hip, but then they have high control of what's going on in society type of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
it makes you think. It's like, okay, well, let's time this C word for this time frame. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking like crazy stuff outside of the box. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then everything eventually went back to the way it was supposed to go. So you have the black swan events, but then
Right.
the frequencies and everything on Earth, Fibonacci, time frames and time sequences, everything just aligns back up. So then you just start getting back to where it was supposed to go. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
This
And
is
and here's what scares me with Bitcoin that you don't see a whole lot of people talking about. This scares the shit out of me. Is that, let's get rid of this. Is that we could be seeing Bitcoin in some massive rising wedge pattern that happens. Everybody's talking about this $100,000 level. Well, guess where that is on this rising wedge? Right at a good point for it to spill out and crash. So I don't know, guys. I think there might be one good last ride up to about 100K with Bitcoin. And we might be seeing some very big retracements after that. This is not financial or trading advice. Uh, Go to Crypto Airborne's channel for that if you want that.
Yeah,
But
not financial advice, but when 6fig throws stuff like this at you guys, go check out my channel. I just did a video on the Rodel ratio, which debunks pretty much all technical analysis, and it looks at on-chain analytics and just a bunch of data from looking at Bitcoin.com. Because every time I watch this, I don't even think 6fig watches my videos, because
I watched 2 of your videos tonight.
it like debunks all of this. Like
Yeah.
we are nowhere near the top, and we have ways to go. Look at the pi cycle
Oh,
indicator.
I'm not saying
Look
that
at the
we're at the
model
top.
ratio. There's so many different things that are saying that, but it could all be wrong. That's the thing. That's
Yeah.
but this is analyzing Bitcoin data from the very beginning. And if
Yeah.
history repeats itself, we're in for a good 2022, like the next couple of
Oh,
months.
for sure. Yeah. And this wouldn't happen until, roughly the end of 2022. I mean, you can see where
Yeah,
the price might drop out. All I'm
and that I
saying
could
is
I could agree on.
there's something that's going on here. This is a black swan event. Maybe we would have seen price action kind of do something like this had coronavirus not happen. But we can see that the pattern is establishing, in this rising wedge, something I'm definitely going to be paying attention to as a crypto holder. I'm going to make my mill and get out and then wait for things to settle down.
Hey, Six, do you think if we see Bitcoin, let's say if it breaks out of that wedge to the downside,
Mm-hmm.
do you think we would see maybe, of course, not financial advice, but like a decoupling from alts to Bitcoin? Because a lot of these crypto projects, I mean, man, 2022 is going to be a big year for, I mean, including CKB, right? And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of our other cryptos. But I wonder if Bitcoin breaks it, let's say it does hit the six figures, right? 100, and then corrects itself outside of that wedge or to the downside. I wonder if we'd see a like a true decoupling of a lot of our altcoins.
That's an interesting thought, man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think everybody would love to see the breakaway from Bitcoin. It's a good coin. It was, it's the OG, but it's clunky. It's like we're trying to keep this old car running as long as possible when we could go out and buy this brand new Lamborghini,
Yeah.
like CKB. You know, um,
Definitely.
I got another thought, and Elizabeth Allen in the comments made a great comment. She's like, "Oh, you're thinking in the right direction. Numerology, astrology, gematria. I don't even know what that is. On top of technical analysis, has been what the elites use in financial markets. Look deeper, you'll see." So yeah, that's another crazy thought. And then as we're talking about this, another crazy thought that I just had. So Bitcoin. So it's just I think it's a mindset thing. I think there's so many more other projects that are emerging that some of these younger people or whales are seeing that they can invest their money into that they're going to make more money and that is better potential than Bitcoin. I think the all these Bitcoin charts might just not be valid anymore. That's
mhm,
another thing to take into consideration. I don't think Satoshi thought about like all the emerging technology, Web 3.0, and all these new projects that are emerging. That like who knows where it's going to go. What? Yeah, I got it. Okay, so Bitcoin still might be digital gold 2.0, and it's going to be your new 401k. But I think a lot of money, like this $350,000 Bitcoin, I don't know if that's going to happen at the peak. But I think people are taking a lot more money and putting into these other projects, these Web 3.0 projects type of thing.
mhm. Yeah.
Um, and then you can look at the data and look into Bitcoin.com. It tells you the amount of holders that hold 100 Bitcoin, 1,000 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin, and then it shows the graph on who sells throughout time. So I'll be curious to see this next year the amount of Bitcoin holders who hold 10 ETH, 100 ETH, or 1 Bitcoin with the emerging project. There's so many projects that are like growing this next year. This might be like I don't know. I'm curious to see if those Bitcoin holders who have a lot of Bitcoin sell and move into these other altcoin projects, which is going to continue the bull run into next year.
Yeah, could be. We'll see for sure. Well, I think we're gonna wrap this up because it's like 2 hours, dude, and we always try to go an hour, and this happens every single time, and we go 2 hours. So, want to be more respectful than we already have been with Marco's time here and your time. So, big shout out to Crypto Airborne for coming on tonight. It's great to have you once again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Just kidding. And also a big shout out to Marcos, man. It was fun having you on. You're
Appreciate you
more than
having me, man.
welcome to come on anytime you want. I'd
Appreciate
love
that.
to have you. Um, and then so follow these guys at MJ Crypto Dad and at crypto_airborne. Then I oh, there
You
goes my
need
shit
dark mode.
again.
Need your dark
uh,
mode on.
So yeah, I know, dude. I don't like dark mode. It messes me up when I do TA. So we got the studio is coming along good. I get the
Ooh,
artwork that comes in tomorrow. I think it comes in tomorrow. I'm waiting on some more. Um, uh, I'm running like all sorts of wire through the floors and ceilings of my house. Basically, I'm gonna control my computer from the basement of my house. I didn't want to buy another computer, so just running wire and stuff like that to make it happen. But I got some really cool, like $100 bill with like paint splashed all over it. Should look pretty sweet. Just a few other little things. I got like a little AK-47 whiskey decanter,
Nice.
like made out of glass, like that I'm gonna put up here. But yeah, it is what it is. I'll quit blabbing about that. We hung the boom for the camera, hang it from the ceiling, and got a monitor installed. So I'm pretty excited about that. So we'll go ahead and end this. It's been 2 hours. It's time. So thank you everyone for watching. Truly appreciate everyone being here, and I will see you guys on the next episode tomorrow.
We'll see you guys. Have a good one.
And Crypto Airborne is going to be selling rash cream on his